everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's going to be a short little video on the security on my van, new Adria twin. I'm going to do a few little videos on some of the security I'm doing on the doors. So today I'm going to be doing the back doors, and I'll just show you what I've installed and then we'll show you how I did it. So I've installed a back plate, which is basically two heavy duty hinges, garage hinges. These are the back parts of the garage hinges, and then a metal bar that slots over the top. So you take that off, you can open the doors, and when you want to secure the door, you just drop that in place, and then there's no way them doors can easily be opened if the central locking was compromised. And that's it. So I'll go ahead now and show you roughly how I fit it. Right, one of the hardest parts of the job, just to say, which I didn't show at the beginning of the video, was taking these panels off, which is, out of all of it, making all this up, the panels getting off were the hardest part to me, because they are absolute nightmare. They're little push studs, plastic studs like these, that push into the back, and the only way I could do it really was put the putty knife in until you get a resistance of one, and then keep pushing and pulling until they pop out. So if anyone knows how they can get them out easier, please put in the description below, because that has got to be the hardest bit of the whole job. Right, so these parts are part of a heavy duty hinge. This is one of the hinges of my old garage, so that would have gone in like that originally, and I don't use these anymore. So that was the idea then of getting these parts to put on each side of the door, which this one's been polished up using a Dremel. I might polish these, but I'm going to be painting these anyway. I've got some paint on order to paint these silver, as you saw. And then the next thing was to get a piece of angled iron, which was cut to a size which I measured up between the doors, drilling out some holes, which I used a tabletop drill to drill these out, but that would be quite hard to drill out using a hand drill, but it can be done. And then just going around scratching it all up and cleaning it up to make sure there's no burrs, there's no sharp parts that catch any of the material on the van. So then these will then slide over this quite nicely, ready to be mounted on the door. And the next thing now is I'm going to paint these with red oxide, and then give them their final coat of silver paint before fitting. So to do the burring, I'm using a Dremel, which has got one of the stones attached to it, which is then quite easy to go around all the edges to make sure that there's no scratches or no sharp bits anywhere on it. And these are the same. I've gone around to make sure there's nothing on there that will cause any problems. Alright, so brackets are all made up now. It's just a matter of attaching them to the van door, which is just a matter of drilling the holes and bolting them to the door. So the idea now is to put the first one on there, bolt that on, and put the plate up to line up for the second one to go on. And you can see I've already started. When you're bolting these on, if you're doing this one, make sure you're keeping well away from the mechanism, the door mechanism, which is around here, and you can feel that through the panel anyway. Right, so now the first one's in and bolted in place, I can offer up the second one with the plate in place, and to be able to line up where I'm going to be able to drill through for the second plate to be put on. Right, so now I have both plates fitted and bolted to the door and quite secure, and it's just a matter now of when you want to secure the door up, just dropping the plate in, and I doubt if anyone's going to be able to get past that without doing a lot of damage to the door. And that's it really, just a matter of putting all the panels back together. Right, so now the back door's done and secure, as you've just seen. I'm going to get on with doing the front doors. I've got the drivers and passenger doors I want to secure, which is going to be a chain and a clip connected to the seatbelt system. So I'll show you that on one sides that I've already done, and then we'll get on with showing you how I did it. So just down here you'll see that what I've done is put a chain and clip, which can easily then be unclipped or clipped back on again to the door, which when it clipped on, if I try now to open the door, it won't open. It's got quite a bit good security bit on that. With a lot of brute force you're going to probably get it apart, but you're going to have to do some real big damage to be able to get that off. So I'll just unclip that and show you. And all that is a metal bracket here with retaining bolts to secure it in place, and that's got a plate on the other side of the door as well, so that might be pulled through easily. And then on this side you've got a nice big shackle connected to the seat belt retainer, which is hard to be able to pull that out. Next to the metal chain and this clip. The weakest part of the whole system would be probably this, because it's not a climbing one, but you could replace this with a proper climbing one. This being alley, it's probably quite weak and could be pulled apart, so that's one thing I might change. And here I'll show you how I fitted it. Right, so making up the passenger door and driver's door bracket, which is going to be where the chain hooks onto, I just went down to my local DIY shop. I think these were from B&Q's or Wickes, which I've had for a while in my garage, where I'm going to open up this hole that will take the bolts that I've taken out of the that holds the side pocket part in. So I'd open that up to hold up to be able to put that in, and then when this is secured to the door, I'll put another bolt in here, hopefully, so that it's not just pulling on this. If someone decides to open the door and they want to really give it a go with a crowbar, rather than popping that out, which they could do, I'm going to put another nut and bolt in so it doesn't give way so much. And then I'll have to also angle grind off the corners, round this off so that it's not so sharp, because you catch yourself on these, it's going to hurt. So that's what I've got to do now before I fit this to the van. Right, so that's the top part, the corner bits rounded off, so it's not so bad if you catch you. Still a little bit of deburring to do, but I'll get on with that later. And I've drilled out that hole now, so it can take the Torx bolt, fits in now, so I can now go and fit this to the van. Right, so that's the hole drilled out for the second retaining bolt, which will be this one going through here. And then on the back of that, I'm going to have a plate on the other side of the door, so it can't be pulled through easy. And it's important to do this because these ones here are only held in by these rib bolts, which I've just tried it and given it a good yank on the door. I reckon you'll easily be able to pop them out. So if you just rely just on that, the chances are this whole security side of it is a complete waste of time, because if they can get the door open, they can yank on the door handle and pop that out. So with this in place, they shouldn't be able to hopefully do that. And to be able to get to the back of this, because it's got to put a nut and bolt through, if you just pull the door out a little bit, this panel out a little bit, rather than taking the whole thing off, and you carefully pull the insulation part out, which is in there, I don't know if you can see it, you can get your hand in there, and then you'll be able to put all that insulation back and the door panel back without doing too much disruption. Right, so that's now bolted in place, and that's quite solid. There's no way you're going to pull that off there easily without cutting around all this area. So now it's just a matter of reinstalling the door pocket. Right, that's it, it's all fitted now and secure. So the pocket's back on and everything looks quite good. And on the other side, the seat belt side, all I've got here is a shackle, which I undid the bolt to put this on because it's got quite a big shackle. You could go smaller really. And then the chain just connected to that with a harness connection on these. Just one last thing on the van security, for anyone who's got the SGXs, and you might have already figured this out, but with the bed, we always leave it in this position, which is just about halfway down, and if you look underneath, you'll see that it covers over the windows quite well, so you've got a metal bar really going around all of the windows in the rear of the van. You could probably lower it a little bit more, and it's anyone trying to break in there has got a really hard deal of getting through the window gaps. So it's a good thing with the SGX that you can do. All we have to do now is work out the security on the two windows, both sides of the van, at the front dining area, which I've seen a few people buy. They're metal clip things that go over, which I'm going to make my own by putting probably a copper tube or alley tube over this that link onto there, and it's prevent these from being opened up. Right, so that's the security on both the passenger and driver's door and the rear door all done, which we can now lock up when we're inside the van if we're wild camping, which we like to do quite a bit when we go to Ireland and around top parts of England. Not so much Kent Coast because there isn't many places to stop really. The next thing is going to be to do the side door. Now the side door is much more difficult to sort out because I can secure it internally, which I'm going to do. Just got a video camera. I'm going to put another brace on here somewhere, which will attach to this shackle, which is the front door, driver's door shackle, which means we can then lock this door up when we're inside the van, for security reasons, for our own security. But when we want to go out to the shops or anything like that, where we can secure all the doors up at the moment internally, we have to go out through the side door, so we need some way of locking the side door externally. And the only one that I can see, there's two on the market, which is a bar that they put on the outside door, which I don't think looks very good, and the other one is a deadlock, which is the hook system that hooks into the door, which for security reasons looks really good for security. The reason why I didn't go down the other doors, two reasons really: price, they're 160, 170 pound each, and the other thing is that you're putting a big hole through the side door, which is going to rust over time, no matter how much of the paint they put on it protects it. That paint's not so good when you start pushing lock barrels through and scratching that paint off. So that's a bit of a worry on what I'm going to do with the side door. So anyone's got any good ideas, give us a comment below and put some tips in. But I'm going to keep looking around for the best security I can do on the outside of this side door for when we leave the van. Yeah, so that's it really. I hope you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the videos so we can do some more, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can when we get away, which shouldn't be long now, because COVID's restrictions are lifting in May, and we'll be going off to the New Forest soon. So see you later.